Elaine, what an absolute pleasure it is to see you. Thanks for giving me time to have a little chat with you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Really good, really good, really good, really honoured. Just a bit of background. I mean, Elaine and myself and our families, we've known each other for quite a few years, haven't we? I think I used to go to school with Elaine's dad, Andrew. So very strong family connection. So I'm privileged to get a chance to have a chat with you, Elaine, about you and your business. So just give us just a minute or so on you, the person, and then we'll dive into the business. Tell us a bit about you.
Yeah. So my name's Elaine and I live in Huddersfield with my husband and my two furry cats. So we've lived there for 3 years and I've got a baby on the way due in July. So lots of exciting things coming up.
Brilliant. Two cats and a baby, right? Fantastic.
Yeah.
So I won't ask what the baby's going to be called, but what are the cats called?
So she's called Luna, and the boy cat is what Ben named the cat. So this isn't my fault, the poor thing, but he's called Tiesto after a famous dance DJ.
Dance DJ, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Right. Okay. Excellent. Okay. So let's just assume you're having a chat with an elderly relative, maybe somebody as old as your dad, something like that. And you're explaining to them what you do for your business, what your business does. How would you describe what you do?
Yeah, so I work for the family business. So we buy properties, buy houses, and then renovate them. So we've got 2 strategies. So the first one, which is a buy to let. So we buy rundown houses and then repaint them, we usually rewire and replumb them. And then we rent them out to usually families for blue collar workers. And then the second strategy that we do is HMO, which is house of multiple occupancy. So we rent them out to we rent them out to young professionals. So they're shared houses. So they share the kitchen, living area, and then they have their own bedrooms, and we do en suites in all of ours as well.
Brilliant. Okay.
So yeah, those 2 are the main strategies we do.
And that's all in West Yorkshire, isn't it? I think that's where you're focused at the moment. Yeah.
All in West Yorkshire. Yeah. We are putting a pause on the shared houses for now. With the baby on the way, I just don't want to pile too much stuff on my mum, who obviously I work really closely with. Yep. So buy to lets, we're looking to expand into another area of West Yorkshire, so that I know really well. So yeah.
Brilliant. Excellent. Okay. So I mean, in terms of the journey, everybody kind of makes mistakes on the way. What's the one thing that you would say is a mistake that you'd learn from, or that you could share with other people that they might learn from?
I think for me, I'm quite a friendly person naturally. I think the biggest thing that I've learned is that you need to separate being friendly with having a friendly relationship and having a business relationship with the people that you work with. Obviously, day in, day out, I work with my family and we obviously know each other inside out. But in terms of builders and tradesmen that you work with, I think the nicer you are, the less that they kind of respect you, or the less that they kind of finish on time and on budget. So I think it's separating those 2 is massively important. And I think we've used a family friend as well for a couple of projects, and it goes well, but I think I need to just step that up and use a team where I can be direct and professional with. I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned.
That's a great point, great learning. I think there's a saying, isn't it, which I mean, you either win or you learn. I think we should eliminate kind of failure. It's either you learn from it or you win. Yeah. So
absolutely
great philosophy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So if we to kind of look forward, maybe let's say 3 years, and we're looking back from that point of view, what would you like to have happened over those 3 years for you to make you think that was brilliant, that was really good, that's really everything I wanted in the business? Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, I think as in like goals and things like that. Do you mean?
I suppose how do you want your business to look in 3 years? What's it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we actually set some goals on Monday, some family goals. So I think for me, I want to concentrate on elements of the business that I really enjoy. which is I enjoy project management, I enjoy renovating, and I enjoy the interior design. But the parts that I don't really enjoy is the paperwork and the contracts and the admin type work. So probably by the end of next year, I would really like to employ somebody full time rather than an agency to take care of that for us, whether that be a virtual assistant or whether that be someone that works closely with us. So I'd like to offload that so I can concentrate on getting more houses and kind of increasing the workload in terms of buying the houses and renovating them.
Right. Okay.
We've got a couple of quite big targets. I mean, 4 buy-to-lets by the end of this year is what we're aiming for. And then next year, I'd like to do maybe 6 and potentially 1 or 2 HMOs as well. Yeah. But as you know, because you're in the property business, things aren't always straightforward. Absolutely. And they convert from buying a property to getting the keys can take a long time if there's several hiccups on the way. But it's important to have goals, and that's where I hope to go.
Brilliant, love it. So it is important to have clear goals. You're absolutely right. Otherwise, it's a bit like a sat nav without a destination. You need some direction, I think. And okay. Okay, so I mean, you mentioned a couple of things there that answered a couple of questions I'm going to ask. What do you hate about the business and what do you like about the business? You kind of covered those. Is there anything else you'd add to that? The things you don't particularly like about being in business versus being employed? Anything you'd add?
I mean, for me, it's been a huge change because I've never worked for myself or with my family before. So the pros of that is that I really enjoy the fact that I can have a Tuesday morning coffee with my best friend if I want to. It gives me the flexibility to live the life that I want to live. But that might mean that I'll work on a weekend if needs be, or on an evening if a tenant needs me, or for whatever reason. So the flexibility and as well the freedom, it's not like I've got strict holidays where I feel I'm made to feel guilty if I have a holiday, which has happened in a lot of my previous jobs. So I think I've really enjoyed this term, but for me, it's getting myself motivated to keep going as well, because I've always had someone looking over my shoulder, making sure that I achieve these goals. Whilst now with my family, we are stepping it up. Every week we're having a meeting with what have we done, what are we doing, and where are we going. And working with family, it's brilliant. I mean, me and my mum, we are very similar, so we do tend to kind of disagree on a certain few things, but we always come out together and as a team, and I think there's no one that you trust more than your own family. So I am enjoying that a lot more than I thought I would initially.
Brilliant, love it, fantastic. And you're multilingual, aren't you? So do you speak to each other in English or in Spanish?
In Spanish when we're shouting at each other, but in English when in normal time. So yeah.
I could say teach me a Spanish swear word, but I won't do. No, that's fine, right? Okay.
We'll do that off camera.
So let's picture the scene. You're a billionaire, which I know you're getting pretty close to being a billionaire, right? I think. So what are you going to be spending your money on?
So for me, my whole life is around family. I'm a huge family person, and for me, I think as the years go by, and especially after losing my grandma a few years ago, for me, making memories is like the number one top of my list. I think I do want the house and the car and everything like that, and a happy family and a couple of dogs and maybe some more cats. But for me, it's about enjoying my life, making sure that my mum and dad have the best next 20, 30 years of their lives and making memories. It's so important for me as I get older that I'm seeing them get older, and I want to ensure that the last years of our lives and me growing up is just purely made because of, it's just purely memories and not just materialistic, the nice this, the nice that for me. So holidays, memories, house, car, and just a happy family life. That's the most important thing for me.
Yeah.
A secure family life.
Yeah, that's pretty. It's really interesting how much you talk about family, and that tells me how important your family is to you, Elaine. It's fantastic, and I mean, one of the things that I've kind of learned through coaching is values. You know how important your values are. Values are what's important to you. Top of our list is family. Top of
Yeah.
your list is family, and you tend to get on best with people that have got the same values as you. And so it's really interesting how much emphasis you've placed on that, which is fantastic. And yeah, life is short, isn't it? Life, there's 4,000 weeks. That's all it is from start to finish. So, we have to make the most of everything, don't we? I think. And
Absolutely. Absolutely.
okay. So, just getting close to the kind of the end now. So, just one thing. Just you talked about the fact that you're having a baby. How's that changed your perspective on life and on the business?
So it's changed because it's not only me and Ben to consider, my family to consider. I've got this whole new life that's going to be coming into our family soon, and my priorities have changed from wanting, this multi-million-pound business to providing a secure and happy life for my child. And I think for me, my biggest thing was that when I was in previous employment, I saw how much people struggled with children, with taking them to school, with picking them up, with booking holiday days off work to be with the child, because nobody else could look after them. For me, I'm going to still work just as hard with my mum and my dad, but I know that they are there to support me at the end of the day. And I'm, going to be living this life with this new child that I'm going to be looking after. Is going to be massively different. But I think because my family care about me and it's not just a big corporate company, we will work together to make sure that the business is successful, as well as me maintaining that happy balance between my family life and employment life. But yeah, we can't wait. We're so excited. And my husband Ben's exactly the same, which is what I really, really love about him. He is an amazing, supportive person, and he works with my dad on a different business, not property related, but his values are exactly the same as mine, and our visions are completely the same. So I think ultimately what we want is just a happy family life and work balance.
Yeah, brilliant, love it. Absolutely, I totally relate to that. I've seen that in corporate life where people are they're having children, but probably not getting the time with the children that they'd like because they're under pressure with the job, and it's hard to see because your kids
really
are growing before you know it.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I believe if I ran my own business, I believe I would be lenient, because I see how much people struggle with having to leave work to pick up the child, or to 6-week holidays, having to divide that between family, other family members, and it's just madness to me. I think your children are, I haven't had a child, but what I imagine is that having children is you want to be there in the first few years of their life. And my mum was a Spanish teacher, and she was fortunate enough to have every holiday off with me. So I remember that my whole childhood was my mum around, and that's what I want to provide to my child ultimately as well, which this allows me to, which I'm very, very grateful and really lucky for.
Yeah, and I think the thing about property is what it does is when you become a mum or a dad, you start to think a lot more about the next generation, and what property gives is the chance to pass on a legacy. So you think about what you're going to pass on to your kids. You want to give them the best chance, the best start in life, and property allows you to do that, doesn't it? It's fantastic. It really is.
Absolutely. That was my dad's kind of goal for us as well. He never pushed me into property at all. But because I worked at the estate agents, I saw a lot of investors coming in and just transforming these amazing houses. And I thought I wanted to do that. So now my dad is able to pass that business onto us, onto me and Joan. Again, I'd like to do that as well for my future children. So yeah, it's brilliant.
Amazing.
Yeah, we're lucky.
For your dad and your mum, again, I know this from my experiences, you want to see your children enjoy the legacy, so they're seeing you enjoy it while they're alive. For me, I want to see them enjoying it now, while I can enjoy the experience of seeing them get the benefit, rather than when I'm long gone, you know. So it's great that you're doing it that way. Okay.
Exactly. I mean, it's not easy. It is difficult as well. You know, property is challenging, and it's not all rainbows and sunshines, but it is a good way of, you know, they say earning money while you sleep. So and people need houses, and good quality houses is what the, you know, is our, what we aim to do, really. So yeah, completely agree.
Great stuff. Okay, so just final question, or two questions. So any role models, anybody that you really look up to, that you would say is a role model that inspires you?
It's completely cliche, but it's my mum and dad.
Yeah, well,
so for different reasons. My mum, I think, seeing her now, like how close we are, and what a great mum she is. You know, it's been to find, I was a really rebellious teenager. I don't know if you remember.
Yes, I do.
I was very hard work, and you know, they went through a lot of troubles with me when I was younger. But as I've got older, we've just been nothing but close. We went to Santorini last year, had a mother and daughter week, and it was just the most unbelievable week of my life. And I just appreciate everything she's done for me. I really look up to her because of the love that she's given us, and everything she does for us is way above and beyond. And then my dad, again, for similar reasons, he is always so selfless. He reminds me of you. Like, he always puts everyone before himself. And my dad, and it's not just his family, it's absolutely everyone. So my dad is, you know, my dad enjoys the simple things in life, you know, a cup of coffee on a Sunday morning when the birds are singing. And I really enjoy that as well. So I think I can learn a lot from my dad. He speaks to me in a not just an emotional way. He thinks kind of practically and gives me the best advice. So definitely, if me and Ben are as half as good as parents as my mum and dad, I'll be very happy.
Yes. Elaine, they're amazing words, and what a tribute to your mum and dad. That is fantastic. That really is. Well done. Well done.
They better give me a bonus now for work.
Well, if you're watching this,
yeah, I'll link it in.
Finally, any kind of inspirational quotes or mottos? Sometimes they're hard to remember, but anything that stands out?
I've actually written one down. I've been good. So I thought my favourite quote is, "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts."
Wow.
And I think for me, it's so important to, everybody has hard times in their life. You'll have weeks where everything seems to go wrong. And trust me, I've had plenty of them. But I think ultimately you have to try and turn that into a positive spin. You know, you allow yourself that rubbish week, and then you focus the next week on how you're going to improve, what you've learned from this rubbish experience. And I think when you are happy, you genuinely pass on those happy, positive vibes onto the people, and it's just contagious. Your thoughts are so powerful. I don't know if you've read The Secret, but that's like one of my favorite.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I listen to podcasts and motivational podcasts and things like that, and I think you know, that is just so important for me, and I take that on. Hopefully take that on in the future. You know, that's my main motto in life.
Fantastic. Great words of wisdom, really is. So, I mean, how can people connect with you and your business, Elaine? Is there a way to connect with you, or what's the best way? Yeah. So
on Instagram, it's Josela _properties_investments.
Okay.
And Josela is JOS and then ELA. So it's the beginning of Joseph, my brother, and the three letters of mine was Elaine. So same on Facebook, Josela Properties as well. So yeah, find me on there.
Great stuff. Elaine, it's been an absolute pleasure and inspiration to speak to you. It really is. I've really enjoyed it. Great. You've got a great personality. You came across really well. Thanks for giving me your time. I really appreciate it.
Anytime. Thank you so much, Chris.
Cheers.